You know, we see security guards all the time, right? But have you ever really thought about what goes into their job? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're talking about the secret strategies that make a security officer actually effective. Let's dive in.
So, picture this. You see a security guard just walking around. Looks pretty simple, right? Maybe even a little boring. But what if I told you that every step, every turn is part of a bigger plan? Yeah, what looks like just a casual stroll is actually a carefully crafted strategy.
Okay, so we've got all this fancy tech now, smart cameras, high-tech sensors, the works. But the trickiest part of security, the part that's hardest to get right, it's still people. And that's where the real game of chess begins, managing the human force.
Right. The real goal here isn't just to stick a camera on a wall. It's about effectively managing the people on the ground. A security officer isn't just some random person in a uniform. They are a critical, active piece in a massive puzzle. So the big question is, how do you write the playbook that makes it all work? All right, step one, it all starts with the rulebook. And I mean a crystal clear rulebook. We're talking about foundational, non-negotiable instructions for every single officer. This isn't a list of friendly suggestions. It's basically the Bible for their post. So in the industry, these are called post orders. And a good way to think about them is like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. Or, a super detailed recipe. It spells out everything an officer has to do. Check this door, respond to that alarm, you name it. It's all about making sure everyone is on the same page, performing to the exact same high standard, every single time.
Okay, so we have the rules. Now we've got to get the officer moving. And this brings us to a really critical decision, a real fork in the road, strategically speaking. How do you actually run the patrols? Because believe me, the choice you make here has huge consequences.
Just imagine a guard who does the exact same thing every night, right? It's 10:05 p.m., they're in the East Wing. By 10:20, they're at the loading dock, like clockwork. This is what we call a routine patrol, and it has one single massive flaw. It's totally predictable.
And here's a fundamental truth in the world of security. Predictable is bad. I mean, really bad. Because if you're predictable, you're vulnerable. Anyone paying attention can just learn your schedule and figure out the perfect time to strike. So what's the answer? Simple. Be unpredictable.
Look at the difference here. It's night and day. Routine patrols, they basically hand-deliver a window of opportunity to an intruder. But random patrols, they change the whole game. Suddenly, the intruder has no idea when the guard might show up. That element of surprise, that doubt, that's a powerful psychological weapon. So, we've got our rules, we've got our random patrol strategy. Sounds great, right? But if you're the manager, how do you know it's actually happening? How do you make sure your officer is hitting all their checkpoints and not, kicking back in the break room?
Yeah, this quote really hits the nail on the head. It's not necessarily that you don't trust your people, it's about verification. You need proof. You need a system that can show you, without a doubt, that the guard walked the route exactly as they were supposed to.
And that, my friends, is where technology comes to the rescue. It's called a tour verification system. Think of it as the modern way to keep everyone honest and create a perfect digital record of every single patrol.
And it's actually super simple, but really clever. The officer carries a little device, it could be an RFID wand or even just an app on their phone. As they do their patrol, they just tap it on these little checkpoints along the route. Each tap creates a time-stamped record, so you know exactly who was where and when. That whole sleeping in the break room problem, yeah, that's solved.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got clear rules, a smart patrol strategy, and technology to make sure it all gets done. That's a great start. But, and this is important, we have to remember that this is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
See, a really solid security system is built in layers. They call it defense in depth. You start with the simple stuff, the physical barriers like fences, good lighting, strong locks. Then you add a layer of technology, sensors, cameras, all the electronic eyes and ears. And then, on top of all that, you have the human element we've been talking about. The officers, the patrols, the post orders. Each layer backs up the others, making the whole thing way stronger than any one part by itself. So the next time you see a security guard walking their route, you'll see it differently. You'll know there's this whole hidden playbook in motion, from the strict orders they're following to the intentional, strategic randomness of their path. It just goes to show you, sometimes the most complex systems are the ones hiding in plain sight. Now that you know the secrets, you'll never look at a simple security patrol the same way again, will you?